Some USA diplomats have arrived Abuja, and the atmosphere inside the political space has changed instantly. Their arrival was not announced to the public. Their agenda was not shared with the media. But people close to government circles already know that this visit is not a casual trip. It is not routine. It is not symbolic. It is a direct and serious move, centered on one of the most sensitive issues in Nigeria today, the future of Nnamdi Kanu, who already faces a life imprisonment sentence. From the moment the diplomats landed, quiet conversations began across ministries. Phones started ringing. Schedules shifted. Meetings that were planned for days were suddenly moved aside. The American team is in Abuja for something far bigger than trade, far bigger than partnership talks, far bigger than the usual diplomatic roundtables. They are here to have a critical discussion with President Tinubu, and the main focus of that discussion carries a weight that the entire nation can feel. For years, the case of Nnamdi Kanu has remained one of the most divisive issues in Nigeria. Supporters see him as a symbol of courage. Critics see him as a threat. Government officials treat his case with extreme caution because any decision around him can influence peace, unity, security, and even political stability. And now, America has stepped into the conversation at a time when many Nigerians believed the matter had reached a dead end. What makes this moment even more intense is that Nnamdi Kanu is no longer awaiting trial. He is no longer caught in a long legal process. He has already been sentenced to life imprisonment, the highest punishment the court could hand down. Many people thought that after the sentence, everything would calm down. But instead, the issue remained alive. It continued to shape debates, conversations, and the mood of an entire region. Now, with these USA diplomats in Abuja, the story has taken a new direction, one that no one saw coming. Their presence alone sends a clear signal. The international community is not stepping away from the matter. They are not ignoring it. They are not moving on. They are stepping in at a deeper and more direct level. And that alone has created tension, curiosity, and uncertainty within Nigeria's political landscape. Inside diplomatic circles, people understand that America does not take steps like this without strong intentions. When senior diplomats travel for a closed-door conversation with a head of state, it means something important is at stake. It means a national issue has become an international concern. It means there is a push for a new direction. And it means that other countries are watching Nigeria closely, observing how the government will respond. The timing of this visit is also raising questions. Why now? Why after the life sentence? Why immediately after months of silence around the case? These questions are circulating everywhere, from political offices to private homes, from government gatherings to online discussions. People want to know what message America is bringing, and why they chose this exact moment to step in. What is even more striking is the tone of their mission. These diplomats are not in Abuja for casual dialogue. They are not exploring possibilities. They are here to have a firm conversation with President Tinubu on one of the most explosive topics in the country. It shows a level of seriousness that cannot be ignored. Within the presidency, advisors are already preparing. They know this meeting could shape the next chapter of the nation's political climate. They know that once America steps into a case this sensitive, the pressure increases. The expectations rise. The entire matter becomes larger than before. Across Nigeria, people are reacting in different ways. Supporters of Nnamdi Kanu believe this could be the breakthrough they have waited for. Critics believe the visit could shake the stability of the justice system. Others are simply shocked that this issue has drawn such strong international attention at this level. And many Nigerians, no matter their views, understand that a discussion between America and Nigeria about a man already sentenced to life imprisonment is not a small matter. The diplomats have not spoken publicly. They have not made statements. They have not revealed their agenda. But the silence itself is powerful. It shows that this move is strategic. It shows that the conversation is sensitive. It shows that the decision ahead carries consequences that will reach far beyond Abuja. As the meeting approaches, the tension continues to build. Political analysts are watching closely. Security agencies are alert. Leaders in the East are quietly observing. International partners are waiting for any sign of progress. And ordinary Nigerians are asking the same question. What exactly will come out of this meeting? For now, there are no answers. There is only anticipation. There is only pressure. There is only the knowledge that something major is happening behind closed doors, something that could affect the unity of the country, the strength of the government, and the fate of a man whose case has refused to fade away. This is not just another diplomatic visit. This is not routine. This is not symbolic. This is the beginning of a major turning point. And everyone knows it. The moment news spread that some USA diplomats had arrived at Abuja, pressure began to build inside every corner of government. At first, it started quietly. A small discussion here. A cautious question there. But within hours, officials at the top understood what was coming. The American visit was not light. It was not routine. It was not symbolic. It was a direct move toward a sensitive topic, one that Nigeria has struggled with for years, the fate of Nnamdi Kanu, who already faces life imprisonment. Inside many political offices, people began working with a sense of urgency. Not because anyone had made a threat. Not because anyone had issued a demand. But because the presence of high-ranking American diplomats carries weight. Every country knows that when the United States steps into a national issue, especially one involving law, stability, and public reaction, it means something deeper is developing behind the scenes. And so the pressure started to rise. At the center of all this is the pending conversation that these diplomats are to have with President Tinubu. A conversation that many officials have been trying to avoid, delay, or deflect for months. But with the Americans now in Abuja, that delay is no longer possible. The moment has arrived. The door that many hoped would remain closed has now been forced open by international interest. What makes this situation even more intense is that the American visit comes at a time when tensions in parts of the country have been rising again. Discussions around regional fairness, political inclusion, and justice have returned. Many leaders worry that any wrong step in Kanu's case could trigger more division. The government wants stability. The international community wants stability. And yet, the case itself refuses to settle. This is why the USA's involvement feels like a heavy wave sweeping through the political system. It is not just foreign interest. It is foreign interest in a matter that affects national unity, national peace, and national confidence in leadership. Inside the presidency, advisors are analyzing every angle. They know the stakes. They know the risks. They know this meeting could shape the direction of the administration. There are officials who believe that opening a new chapter on the Kanu issue could calm the East and rebuild trust. Others believe it could be seen as weakness, especially because he is already serving a life sentence. The internal pressure is not only political. It is emotional. It is strategic. It is historical. The government understands the weight of this decision, and now America has entered the space where that decision must eventually be made. But the pressure is not affecting only the government. It is spreading across different groups and regions. In the southeast, leaders are quietly monitoring developments. Nobody wants to escalate tension, but nobody wants to stay silent either. They know the American visit could signal a chance for a new conversation. Supporters are hoping the outcome favors mercy. Critics are preparing for strong arguments against it. And many ordinary citizens are simply watching, curious about what will happen next. In the north, political voices are also speaking behind closed doors. Some insist that the law has already taken its course. Others believe that the nation cannot move forward while a major part of the population feels unheard. No region is silent. No region is comfortable. Everyone is adjusting to the unexpected presence of an international power in a deeply domestic matter. Inside diplomatic circles, analysts are clear about one thing: the USA has interests in stability across West Africa. Nigeria is the largest force in the region. Any internal tension in Nigeria affects the entire region. And so, foreign partners naturally become involved when they believe that something could lead to bigger instability or long-term conflict. This is not the first time America has shown interest in Nigeria's internal challenges, but this time it feels different. The focus is sharper. The timing is deliberate. And the decision ahead is far heavier than most diplomatic conversations. With Nnamdi Kanu already sentenced to life imprisonment, the American visit immediately raises one question that many people are afraid to ask openly. What exactly does America want to see happen? The diplomats have made no public statement. They have not spoken to the press. They have not revealed their intentions. But their silence has created even more pressure than words could. Every political observer understands that when diplomats arrive quietly, when no official press briefing is held, when conversations happen behind closed doors, it means the matter is sensitive. It also means the matter is urgent. Government officials are now preparing for the possibility that America may encourage a new direction, a softer approach, or a fresh review of the situation. Even though the diplomats have not said so publicly, the speculation alone is enough to shake the political atmosphere. The presidency is caught between two forces. On one side is the desire to maintain strong leadership, respect for the law, and confidence in the justice system. On the other side is the need for national unity, peace, and long-term stability. And now, with America involved, every choice carries international consequences. Across the country, people are waiting for the next step. Some are hopeful. Some are nervous. Some are simply confused about how a case that seemed finished, with a life sentence handed down, has suddenly returned to the center of national attention. The pressure is real. It is not loud. It is not chaotic. It is the quiet pressure that sits behind closed doors, the kind that changes decisions, influences leaders, and shifts the direction of a nation. And now, all that pressure is building toward one meeting, one room, one conversation, one moment that could shape the next chapter of Nigeria. As the American diplomats settle into Abuja, one reality becomes clear across every level of government. This situation is heading toward a final turn. The quiet conversations, the strategic meetings, the rising pressure, and the sudden international attention have all led to this point. The coming discussion between the USA diplomats and President Tinubu is not just another diplomatic exchange. It is a moment packed with consequences, expectations, and uncertainty, especially because Nnamdi Kanu is already sentenced to life imprisonment. Nothing about this moment is simple. Nothing about it is predictable. Everyone involved understands that whatever direction is taken from here will echo across the entire country. A case that many believed was closed has suddenly re-entered the national center, this time with global attention. And with America now stepping into the matter, the stakes have risen far beyond political rivalry or regional argument. This has become a decision with national weight. Inside the presidency, the atmosphere is serious. Advisors are preparing options. Political strategists are studying every outcome. Security experts are reviewing the risks. The challenge is not just about the law. It is about the future of peace, unity, and stability in a country that has faced several tensions over the years. Tinubu's administration must now balance the expectations of the international community with the emotions and demands of millions of Nigerians. One wrong move could create new tension. One right move could open a path toward healing. For this reason, the coming conversation with the USA diplomats is seen as a moment of truth. Not because it forces the government to act, but because it forces the government to reflect deeply on where the nation is heading. Across the East, many people are watching with hope. They believe this is the moment that could lead to a new chapter, one that removes bitterness and opens the door for dialogue. They know the challenges their region has faced. They know the emotional weight that Nnamdi Kanu's case carries. And now, with America involved, they believe a meaningful shift might finally be possible. But in other parts of the country, there is concern. Some fear that revisiting the case could weaken the justice system. Others worry it could be seen as bending to external pressure. Some political figures believe the sentence should remain untouched. Some believe new conversation is necessary for long-term peace. There is no single voice. No unified position. The nation is divided, yet the final decision will affect everyone. The American diplomats, for their part, have kept their mission quiet. They have not addressed the public. They have not made any official remarks. Their silence adds more weight to the situation. It shows how sensitive the issue is. It shows how carefully they are moving. And it shows that whatever they intend to discuss with President Tinubu is something they want handled privately, without public debate or open commentary. As all this unfolds, the tension inside government buildings is growing. Officials know that once the meeting ends, every political analyst in the country will begin reading between the lines. Every statement, every gesture, every decision will be examined closely. The government will have to explain its next steps in a way that protects stability, respects justice, and builds trust across regions. There is also the emotional side of the matter. Even though most governments try to operate without emotion, the case of Nnamdi Kanu carries feelings that cannot be ignored. Families, communities, youth groups, elders, activists, and political leaders all see the situation through different lenses. Some see justice. Some see injustice. Some see a legal decision. Some see a cry for fairness. The administration must weigh all these emotions without allowing them to cloud the realities of governance. But regardless of these challenges, everyone agrees on one truth. The coming decision will shape the direction of the country. If the government chooses to stand firm, the country enters one kind of future. If the government chooses to open new dialogue, the country enters another. Both paths carry risk. Both paths carry opportunity. Both paths require courage. This is why this moment is not just about Nnamdi Kanu. It is about Nigeria itself. It is about the strength of leadership. It is about the promise of unity. It is about choosing the direction of the nation at a time when the world is paying attention. As the sun sets on Abuja and the political climate continues to tighten, everyone waits. Supporters wait. Critics wait. Foreign observers wait. The entire country holds its breath, wondering what will come out of this high-level meeting. No matter what happens next, the outcome will not be small. It will not be quiet. It will not be forgotten. This is the final turn in a long and difficult journey. The next step could open a new chapter, or reinforce the old one. Either way, this moment will define the story for years to come.